And we're live here on YouTube. Like to welcome those listening in podcast land, and also like to welcome my buddy Rich. Rich, how you doing today?
Doing good, Mike. Yeah, gonna be a nice evening today. Yeah, good date night with the missus planned for our anniversary since it came up during the week this week.
Yeah,
We're gonna have a nice dinner out. Gonna get a pedicure and yeah.
we have a date night tonight as well. As I forgot a birthday that we should have mentioned that we didn't.
Mm,
Pastor David Hovinga, his birthday was Wednesday this week.
gotcha.
So, um, no, but we had a good. I mean, good week is a relative term. We had a okay week overall. There was some rough stuff that happened this week, and we're going to talk about that because, um, yeah, rocked the NASCAR community to its core. But that's for a minute or two. No, but it's been pretty decent. So, anything big anything else before we start talking show stuff?
Not really. 2 more days. 2 more days that I'm finished for the year at work.
Sucker.
I probably could have taken more time off, but
I don't work until
decided not to.
2026.
Very nice.
So,
All right, Mike, show stuff. You alluded that we got something to talk about in the NASCAR world with the tragic event that happened.
yeah.
And as always, Mike, we got football to talk on. And Mike, the Cubs signed a star from the Japanese league,
Yeah.
but not the one that not the one that you were expecting, I think.
Right, right.
All that and more, Mike, but what do we got to do first?
We got to go ahead and roll that intro.
Broadcasting live from somewhere in Iowa. This is Balls and Sticks, the podcast, with your hosts, Mike and Rich.
And we're back. Okay, with all of that, let's get into the show. First thing we got to do, as always, we got a poll question to talk about. This week's poll question was grilling versus snowball fights. Yeah, this was another unanimous vote.
Mhm.
And most people think at least for me, it's a year-round ritual. I, in fact, did it last night as I grilled last night, which is how I voted, because I grill all the time.
All right, I went with grilling too, even though it's something I probably don't do as often as I should. But I don't remember the last time I had a snowball fight, and I don't know when I'll be having one again at the same time. So,
I will tell you, not that we are a cooking show here by any means, but cooking recommendations.
hmm
If you have a gas grill, buy either a cast iron or a cookie sheet or something like that. Put it right on top of the not the your burners aren't exposed, but the things on top of your burners. And then all you got to do is put some wood chips on it, and you get wood fire. It tastes like a wood-fired grill without all the headache of all the extra stuff.
Interesting.
So,
Yeah, cool. That's very nice, Mike.
so voting with us was Danielle Hart and Josh Hendricks.
All
So
right.
grilling
Thank you,
will
everybody.
move on.
All right. This week, Mike, we're going to take our two lower seededs that are still alive and put them up against each other, as it'll be tailgating our number 6 seed going up against bird watching. The winner, Mike, will go against our number 1 overall seed from the all activities bracket, who's been sitting on a bye week, sitting idle for a while now. Will be Bonfires. So the winner of this one will go up against Bonfires, and then the winner of this week's grilling will go up against our number 2 seeded Farmers Markets.
Okay.
Farmers Market's going to get a little bit of a bye, and we'll get these two matchups decided.
Okay. With that, Rich, let's get into the meat of the show, as we got some football to talk about. Bears are back on top of the NFC North by beating the Browns 31-3.
Yeah, that. Oof. There was a part of me that was a little bit worried with that game, thinking that it was going to be cold, so that both teams would be running the ball a lot, and that I was definitely wrong on that one. As really the Browns just could not move the ball at all,
Nope.
and a lot of turnovers. A lot of turnovers in that game.
Yeah, it did not go the way that I think they were hoping, or that the Browns, like, Shedeur Sanders did not look good. Let's just be honest with ourselves. Didn't look good.
If anything, it proved why he was a 5th-round pick and not a 1st-round pick.
Yeah.
Or heck, I think with that performance, I think it proved why you wouldn't have taken him in maybe even the 3rd round.
Yeah.
Did not look good.
Did not look good. And that's okay. I mean, that's not who the Browns were hoping to have quarterback this year. So,
yeah, with that,
the Bears go to
would win
10-4. I'm at 10-4, and Rich, you're at 11-3 on the season.
All right. Locks of the week, Mike. I went with the 49ers over the Titans. I forgot to put in the final score. So, Mike, you went with give me the results of my lock of the week, which was the Jaguars over the Jets. And then while you're doing that, I will look up the score for that Niners-Titans game.
Yeah, the Jaguars won 48-20 over the Jets. The Jets look like a terrible team, which, not surprising. They are a terrible team. And the Jags actually looked decent, which really helped them out. So, yeah, you won yours, bringing you to 12-3 on the season.
All right, Mike. The Titans did lose, and it was 37-24 49ers victory. And I will have your records for the locks of the week once you go over our upset specials.
Okay, upset specials this week, Rich. You picked I picked the Colts over the Seahawks. That did not happen, as the Seahawks won 18-16. By the way, did you think it was going to be that close?
I did not.
If we were picking against the spread, I would have gotten it, by the way.
Yeah, but we don't.
We don't.
It
But
was a lot closer game than I thought it would be, and
you were shocked.
I was.
By the way,
a little bit.
I'm going to point out that Phillip Rivers went out of the game, like when he gave up, when he finished, his team was leading. He set his team up to be winning. The last thing he did touching the ball was setting his team up to win the game. It was his defense that failed him, so that sucks. Rich, your upset special was the Packers over the Broncos. That too did not come through, as the Broncos won 34-26, which allowed the Bears to get in first place in the NFC North.
Hey, my apologies. I didn't
Nope,
get the
you're
outline
good.
filled in as much as I get it. All right, Mike, you are 11-3.
11-4
for your upset. 11-4 for your upset specials. I dropped to 3-12 on upsets. Mike, you are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 on the upset specials.
Okay. Rich, Thursday Night Football, we had the Rams versus the Seahawks. I picked the Rams. You picked the Seahawks. Seahawks pulled it out in overtime.
A lot of controversial calls in that game.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to watch the game. Was watching some of the highlights.
Neither did I. But all I heard was the controversy.
I still don't get the 2-point conversion call that a tipped pass ended up being a backwards pass, a non-forward pass that they were able to recover for a touchdown. It's kind
Yeah.
of odd, the circumstances surrounding it, to where they reversed the call right as they were about to kick off, thinking that it was the 2-point conversion was no good, and then reverse it so late. But I guess that's one of the advantages that you have when every scoring play is reviewed.
Yeah. So I don't understand it, but whatever. That's kind of where we're at. Okay, Rich. With that, I am 8-12 on the season for the special games, the non-normal day games, or non-Sunday or Saturday or Sunday games. You
The
are
midweek games.
11-9. Rich, this week we see the Packers playing tonight at 7:30 on Fox. Bears, Packers, who are you going to take?
I'm going to go with the Bears in this one. That's where I had the Bears getting their victory, splitting the season series when we were reviewing the Bears' schedule preseason. So I'm going to stick with the win here.
Yeah.
It helps that Micah Parsons is lost for the year, so they lost their best pass rusher. And I've heard like one of their better receivers, Christian Watson, is also dealing with an injury, so he might not play.
Didn't they lose? Don't they have two of their pass rushers out?
I had only heard of the big one, which was Micah Parsons.
Hang on. I know that. Okay. Give us your lock of the week. I'm gonna look it up.
All right, my lock of the week. You're going with the Bears as well, Mike?
Yeah, I'm going with the Bears.
Okay, my lock of the week. I'm going to go with the Texans over the Raiders. Texans have been looking really good the last couple of weeks, playing good defense, and the Raiders just cannot move the ball, let alone put points on the board. So, I mean, they fired the offensive coordinator, and I think if they're being wise with their coaching decisions, Pete Carroll should probably be shown the door as well. But I think probably Pete stays just because there's just a lack of good coaches available this hiring cycle. So give me the Texans over the Las Vegas Raiders. Mike, your upset of the week. You while you're looking stuff up, I'll tell the folks who you picked. You went with the Vikings over the New York Football Giants. Any reasoning behind it?
The Giants are terrible, and the Vikings don't have anything to lose for, and don't really have anything to win for. If you look at it, they don't. Losing isn't going to help them in the draft, and winning isn't going to hurt them. So, yeah.
So it's about developing and getting the offense dialed more in around J.J. McCarthy. Just know what you need to do for next year.
Yeah.
Okay. Upset specials, Mike. I'm not confident in it at all, but I'm going to go with the Dolphins over the Bengals. If the Bengals were smart, they'd be benching. I'd probably be benching Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase to preserve them from next year, as we saw what happened to Mahomes and the Chiefs last week. Dolphins are trying out a new quarterback in the rookie Quinn Ewers, and they don't play defense. So I think their running back Devon Achan's going to go wild in this game, and the Dolphins beat the Bengals.
Okay. Upset specials. I'm going to take the Titans over the Chiefs. Chiefs losing Patrick Mahomes in a terribly looking ACL injury. Gonna miss the season. Likely to miss at least part of the start of next season. We're going to get into where we have them in the power rankings. Really bad for them. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't. It'll be interesting to see what happens with the Chiefs. So they're a team maybe a little bit in turmoil now. You probably have Mahomes, like you said, out maybe for the rest of the season, at least half of next season. You got Travis Kelce contemplating retirement, not giving a clear answer on whether he'll be back next year. And Andy Reid's getting up there in age too. So could he turn around and retire with a good coaching resume and hand the keys over to somebody else? Let somebody else oversee maybe the
Happy Friday.
retooling of the Chiefs.
Yeah. So I think that the Chiefs are really messed up right now, and it's going to be, yeah. Wyatt, by the way.
Huh. Okay. He's
Parsons
the other pass
and
rusher?
Yeah.
All right, Mike. We got 3 midweek games. This will be the final slate of midweek games this year, as I don't think we have any in week number. Yeah, as we're going into week number 17. So last chance to improve that midweek record, Mike. First game will be the Cowboys and the Commanders.
Commanders are a terrible
Dallas.
team. Dallas wins.
Yep. I agree. Lions, Vikings. I'm going with the Lions as I like the Lions better, but I could see this being I could see the Vikings playing up this game and getting that win because, like you said, they're in your lock of the week. They got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Because they're probably not going to be able to improve their draft position that much. And you get up for those division games. As
Yeah.
I think the Lions need to win out to stay in the hunt, let alone clinch a playoff spot.
Yep.
But I like the Lions better. And finally, Amazon lost out on this one with Patrick Mahomes injured. Chiefs, Broncos.
Yeah, the Broncos win this one.
Yeah, I think even with Patrick Mahomes playing,
Oh yeah.
with the Chiefs eliminated, I think I still would have gone with the Broncos.
Yeah.
So yeah, out of these 3 games, that Chiefs Broncos game probably gives me the most confidence. If I was doing a confidence meter, it'd probably be Chiefs Broncos at 1, that Cowboys Commanders 2, and then Lions Vikings as a confidence level of 3. If
Yeah.
we're doing confidence points.
Yep. I
All right,
kind of
Mike.
agree with that.
You alluded to where we have the Chiefs in our power rankings. Let's go right into that.
Okay.
Top 10, bottom 5, and then maybe we'll go with where we have the rest of the NFC North, and then where we have those Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay. So we're going to start at number 1, best team in the NFL right now, and that's the Denver Broncos.
All right. So I made my rankings without Thursday Night Football in mind, and I made my number 1 team the LA Rams.
By the way, I made mine on Monday before the Steelers Panthers game, and I still didn't even change it because I agree with where I had them anyway.
So I don't know. For me, I think it's a head-to-head matchup. I would pick the Rams over the Broncos.
I think Bo's got something going on. That team is strong. I'm gonna stick with the Broncos at number 1. Who you got at number 2, Rich?
That's where I put the Broncos.
And this is where I have the Rams.
Okay, so
So-
we're not that far off.
Yeah.
It's just a personal preference on
Yeah.
who we think is better. That's all.
Totally makes
Number
sense.
3, Mike, I went with the Buffalo Bills.
Yep, that's a right spot for them. They corrected some things, especially beating the Patriots last week. Really helped them overall in how they look. And if you're the Bills Nation, are you sitting here chomping at the bit saying, hey, this could be our year?
Oh, I think I think it's maybe, if anything, it's a disappointment if it isn't the year that you finally break through and win the AFC.
Yeah.
Because you don't have Joe Burrow and the Bengals. You don't have Joe Burrow and the all offense, no defense Bengals
Yep.
blowing you out in a shootout. You don't have Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
And Lamar Jackson and the Ravens are struggling. So I think you got to feel pretty good going up against, I think it is a system quarterback, although he's playing very well within the system, in Bo Nix, and
Yeah.
a guy that's going to be getting his first taste of playoff football in Drake May and the Patriots, and you know that you've beaten the Patriots.
Yeah, yeah. I think the Bills should be sitting pretty. If they can win out and the Broncos don't have any guarantees. They are not a guarantee going to win the next couple games. As much as we say that the Chiefs game should be a definitive win for them, it's a divisional game. You can't count on that at all.
Yeah, and the final week of the regular season, they got to go against the Chargers, which is a divisional game.
Yep.
And the Chargers got something to play for.
Yeah.
They'll have playoff seeding to play for.
So, look out. Those Bills might sneakily get in and do some damage. Man, I would love to see the Buffalo Bills be the AFC go through the Buffalo Bills.
Through Buffalo.
If they win out, I mean, January football in Buffalo, don't you want to see it?
Yeah. All right. For comparison, Mike, week number 18, the Bills get the Jets.
That's a win.
Week number 17, the Buffalo Bills will be facing the Philadelphia Eagles. That could go either way.
That could go either way. And who do they got this week?
This week, the Buffalo Bills face.
They play the Chiefs next week. Or no, they don't.
No, they're done. Buffalo faces the Browns. That's a win right there.
So they got at least 2 wins. If they pull 3 wins off, the Broncos just need to lose one or 2 of their next games. And honestly, like we said, they easily could lose either of those, or both. So, yeah. At number 4, Rich, I have the Seattle Seahawks.
All right, this is where I put the Patriots. They were my number 1 team. But Buffalo pulled out a good win against them, so that's where I went with them. So I moved them from 1 down to 4. 5 is where I have the Seahawks.
5 is where I have the Chicago Bears.
Okay. Now,
that was a decisive win.
Okay, it was. It was a very convincing win, but against a team that they should have beaten.
You're right, but they didn't just beat; they destroyed. Like, that was a complete win at all levels. That wasn't just our defense scored point. No, the defense did everything they needed to do and looked like a top tier defense. The offense did everything they needed to do and looked like a good defense. I'm not going to say top tier, but an upper tier defense. They're looking good. Number 6 is where I have the Seattle or the New England Patriots.
Okay, 6 is where I put the 49ers.
Okay.
Still winning football games just in spite of injuries, and they have divisional games to where they could turn around and get that number 1 overall seed.
I'm gonna mess with. You might call me crazy.
Okay.
Kyle Shanahan is the white Mike Tomlin.
Okay, explain yourself a little bit more.
No matter what happens, they're going to be a pretty good team. Sometimes they're going to have 10, 12 wins. Sometimes they're going to have 9 wins. They won't be under 500 probably. But they're never going to be. I don't think that the Niners will ever be a top tier team as they sit right now. They're going to need some superstars, and I feel the same way about Mike Tomlin and the Steelers. They're never going to be a great team unless they get some big names. But even with bad names, Mike Tomlin will keep them as a winning team. Maybe. And I'll kind of explain that in a minute. But kind of like Kyle Shanahan is a slightly better version of Mike Tomlin in that he's never gonna. He'll always be 500 or better, but he's never. I don't know that he'll ever be a great. He'll ever have an amazing season, if you will.
Well, he's had those amazing seasons, but he's never been able to get him over the hump to get him that Super Bowl win.
Right. That's kind of what I mean there too. Number 7, by the way, is where I have the San Francisco 49ers.
All right, 7 is where I put the Bears. Although I think if they win this week, they're definitely going to go. They're definitely going to go up. I don't know whether we'll be doing power rankings next week.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But I'm kind of scratching my head on what to do with the rankings since the Rams lost. I don't know if the Seahawks are that team to go all the way up to number 1. Because I think I still believe in the Rams that they might be the team to beat in the NFC, but man, so
I'm still putting
really
disrespect on the Denver Broncos.
I am. I'm still putting some disrespect on the Broncos.
This is sad. Number 7 or number 8, Rich. Who you got?
That's where I put the Superchargers.
Okay, I'm not quite there with you on it, but I have the Jacksonville Jaguars.
All right.
And number 9, I have the Superchargers.
9 is where I put the Packers.
Okay.
Good football team.
Yep.
I know you don't like that tie, but
ties are terrible. That's why I don't.
Yeah.
We'll get there in just a second where I have them. But Rich.
And rounding out my top 10 is where I put the Jacksonville Jaguars.
And this is where I put the Green Bay Packers. And again,
right.
It's that. At number 11 is where I have the Detroit Lions. I'm only saying that because we're going to do the NFC North. So at number 11, I have the Detroit Lions. Where do you have the Lions, Rich?
I put the Lions at 13.
Okay.
They're in the hunt to make the playoffs, but
they need things to go right.
Yeah, they need some things to go right. Houston and Philly are playing. I mean, Houston has a better record, and they're hot right now. They're in a playoff position. The Eagles own their division. They have the same record as the Eagles, as the Lions. So the playoff position got the edge. My least favorite team, the Pittsburgh Steelers, are below them with the same record, but I just like the Lions better.
I have the Steelers even lower than you. I have them at 16.
Okay.
Okay. And finally, rounding out the NFC North, 19 is where I have the Vikings. Where you got the Vikings?
I put the Vikings at number 20.
Okay. Neighboring spots.
Yeah.
No big deal. You probably maybe are putting the Cowboys above them?
I did put the Cowboys above them.
And I have the Cowboys just below them. So we have those two flip-flop. Okay. Do you want to start from the bottom up, or do you want to go from the top down for our bottom 5?
We'll go with the top down. So team number 28.
Okay. Who you got?
I put the Jets here.
Okay. We'll get to where I don't have them in the bottom 5, and there's a reason. At 28, I have the Cleveland Browns.
Okay, I got the Browns at number 29. That performance against the Bears was really bad.
Yeah, that was real bad. So I have them but not as bad as I think that the Giants are, and I have the Giants at 29.
I got the Giants a little lower, so we'll get there.
At 30, Rich, I have the Las Vegas Raiders.
I got the Raiders a little bit lower than that. I moved the Tennessee Titans up to number 30. They're starting to put some points on the board, which is they're putting points on the board. They're making games closer, which is more than you can say for the two teams that I have ranked below them.
Okay. Wow. At 31, strictly a reactionary thing.
Okay.
A team that builds their entire, not even their entire, ability to win games, but their entire identity around Patrick Mahomes. I have the Kansas City Chiefs at 31. Losing Patrick Mahomes, not only do you lose the heart of your team, you lose all of the playmaking ability at all in the entire system. You don't have it. You can make the argument, well, how do you have a backup for Patrick Mahomes? You don't. You just can't. So that can't. But even beyond that, because it's Gardner Minshew, right?
Yeah, it'll be Gardner Minshew going under center in
Um,
Kansas City.
Even beyond it being Gardner Minshew, um, Patrick doing Patrick things is the reason that team is any good. And they haven't been good. They are not even in the top. Like, even if Patrick is in there, they're still not even in the top 25. They're not even. They're in the top 20. I think they're only barely in the top 20. They don't make the top 15.
No, not with the way they've been playing this year. But yeah, I disagree with your hot take gut reaction to go, nope, no Patrick Mahomes, that they're down in the bottom 5. Well, yeah, they haven't been the team that they have been in the past.
Kelsey hasn't been playing to what everybody expects him to be.
Yeah, Jason Kelsey is starting to show his age.
The rest
the wide receivers haven't been able to play up. Rashee Rice was suspended for 6 games. That put the other wide receivers on that roster didn't step up. But I mean, really, has their wide receiver core been the same since they since they traded Tyreek Hill away? As they've tried to plug rookies in there, hoping that Mahomes would build them up and make them better players than they probably are.
So I just can't, Rich. I can't. Even Patrick Mahomes play. Even if Patrick Mahomes wasn't injured, I still would have him
below 20 probably.
They might be at 19, but that's the highest that I think they could be at right now, because of just how they're playing.
Yeah, I mean, they've just come out on the other end of those one-score games.
Barely.
Last year they were winning those one-score ugly games because the teams weren't putting up points like they had been in the past.
So yeah,
but, I mean, eventually playing and making all of those long Super Bowl runs, those year after year, going at least to the AFC Championship game, let alone the Super Bowl. All those, and having to pay big contracts to their cornerstone players like Mahomes, Chris Jones, Travis Kelce.
Yep.
And losing offensive linemen have finally caught up to them. And eventually the rookies that you draft need to be able to step up and fill those spots, and they just haven't.
Yep.
So I'm not they're obviously, Mike, I'm sure with your rankings, and when we do rankings again in 2 weeks, I'm sure they'll be higher. On my end, they'll probably be lower, as I have them at number 23 right now.
Okay. Who do you have at 31, Rich?
31 is where I put the New York Football Giants.
Okay.
Giants really haven't looked good. They're struggling to put points on the board, but I think this could be a good situation for a new coach to come into next year, as they got the quarterback in Jackson Dart. They got the running back in Cam Scatteraboo if he comes back healthy.
Here's the problem I have with that concept.
They got the wide receiver in Malik Neighbors. Yeah, your coach
it's the New York Giants.
Didn't draft any of those guys.
It's the New York Giants. Danny Dimes got destroyed. They had the greatest running back in the league during the last couple of years, or when he was there, in Saquon Barkley, and they still couldn't do anything. That organization, being at 31, they probably deserve to be down that low, but I couldn't. The Chiefs losing Patrick Mahomes is too big for me. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think I would want to be I don't think I want to coach in New York if the opportunity, like, again, if the opportunity arose, I would coach I would coach anywhere that would pay me that type of money. But if I could pick, and I had The only NFL team that I would think I would be less likely to go to is the Browns right now.
Yeah, and that's where I was going to go with you, Mike. Right now, of the openings that are open right now, Tennessee, New York.
Yeah.
Which situation would you rather have?
I'd prefer to be in New York.
I mean, both have the quarterbacks.
Yep.
So you're going to get a high draft pick, and you don't need a quarterback. So you could, in theory, trade down to accumulate some picks for future years.
But there's also not great. Doesn't seem like a great quarterback draft class.
I think you have one guy.
Yeah.
That's the Heisman winner, Mendoza.
Yeah.
So you're going to need to trade up to number 1 if you're going to get it. And my final team, number 32, is where I put the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, your arguments are not invalid. However, the Titans still, to me, are not getting out of that last place position unless they win. So those are
the Raiders, the Titans, and the Giants all have the same record.
Yeah. No,
And the Titans are at least putting up points on the board and being in positions to win games, while the Giants and Raiders aren't.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying your arguments are wrong. I'm stubborn, and this is where they're going to stay because that's just where they belong.
Okay.
Okay, Rich. Anything else? You want to do your wide receiver Mount Rushmore, or do you want to kick that down the road to after as things start to settle down?
It's up to you, Mike. I know that it's going to be. I know you have some feelings on the Greg Biffle thing.
I have huge feelings on it, man. Let's do that.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't, because I wasn't watching NASCAR.
Yeah.
When Greg Biffle was an active driver, it was just a little bit of a news story to me to say that when it happened. So I'll let you have the floor on this one.
Yes.
I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest on it.
It's fine, and that's great. And I'm not. So let's start off with what happened. Greg Biffle was flying down to Sarasota, Florida.
Now, was he flying the plane or was he a passenger on the plane?
He is rated for the plane.
Okay.
There were 7 souls on board. I don't know if he was the one flying at this particular time or if he was in the back with the family. So that one I don't know. I can't speak on that. And I don't think that's come out yet even. So, family, they're going down to Florida to go to an event that is being put on by Cletus McFarland. And they obviously are having some troubles, and they are getting near the airport and hit the deck. Plane bursts into flames, slides to the runway. So they land hard enough that it bursts everything into flames with enough forward momentum to get them to the runway. That's how close they were to the runway. Greg Biffle, his wife, both of his children, a legend in NASCAR circles, Carburetor Craig, and 2 pilots, from my understanding, all on board, all lose their lives. Such a tragedy. The flight log data, you can find hundreds of stories about it. Tons of people are covering about how it was very sporadic. Obviously, there was something wrong. They had taken off and nearly immediately tried to get back to the airport to land. They were having all sorts of issues. weather was not doing well. What happened in the crash, we don't know. We won't know for a while. We may never know exactly what happened, and that sucks. But Greg Biffle died. Now, as a NASCAR fan and as a fan of NASCAR in the 90s when Greg Biffle was racing, when Greg Biffle came up, he came up under Roush. It was just Roush at the time, not Roush Fenway, just Roush. My favorite driver was Mark Martin. Mark Martin also running for Roush at the time. They were teammates. Greg Biffle driving the number 16 car. So I always liked him because he was a guy that was on the team. And if that's where it would have stopped, I don't know that I would have been this emotional about it. But his story continued. He retired from NASCAR, started his own machine shop. Like, it was like, I'm still young. I have enough money. I can do some fun stuff. I can start a business. I can do all this stuff. So I'm going to do it, and goes through and creates this organization. It starts doing things, does all this stuff. That part is cool. A year and a half, 2 years ago, Cletus McFarland, who I mentioned earlier, hooks up with Greg Biffle during Hurricane Helene and the rescue missions there. Greg Biffle and Cletus McFarland become best friends. Greg Biffle flies his personal helicopter into dangerous locations to bring food and water and supplies to those in need, while also picking people up and taking them out of these terrible situations and getting them to safer places.
Well, wasn't Greg Biffle racing with Cletus at his racetrack?
Yeah. So no, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. Yeah, I think he might have done one race, but it wasn't that big of a thing. He was just a guy that was yes, it was a NASCAR driver, but it was more. It was not. They weren't that close at the time. We'll get there. Greg Biffle says, "Hey man, you can stay at my house. In fact, you can land in my yard because that way you're not taking up spaces at airports." And they spent the night and they hung out and became friends and really just put themselves in danger in order to help save people's lives and do amazing things. Greg Biff was like, man, this kid's awesome. Works with him, gets him an opportunity. Now this is where things take off. So I got to watch Greg Biffle throughout his entire career. I got to see him race in person. I've met him. Now, when I say I met him, it was like a driver line, get an autograph line. I talked to him for maybe 2 minutes, whatever. But not even, maybe 30 seconds at best. But I saw him as a NASCAR driver. I saw that part of his life. Then fast forward to this, and he becomes best friend, legit, really good friends with Cletus McFarland. These guys are hanging out and doing things. Greg Biffle gets Cletus an opportunity to race in the ARCA series. This is what he provides for Cletus. He races in all of the races with him. He gets to do all sorts of cool things, and they do stupid things like they drove from Bradenton, Florida, Sarasota, Florida area, all the way to Talladega in Winnebagos that cost less than $5,000 just having a good old time, being friends, and documenting it all along the way, and just having fun. They went out to drive dune buggies in California. He became a larger-than-life character beyond what he already was, to a generation of people who never knew him as a NASCAR driver, never saw him drive. There are junior high kids who I talk to on a weekly basis about the Cletus McFarland stuff, who know who Greg Biffle are because of all of the awesome stuff he's been doing. And I know these kids are hurting because one of their idols died. This man has now spanned generational influence. In fact, the reason he was on the plane, and this has been confirmed by Cletus McFarland, the reason he was on the plane at the time, also Cletus was the first one to publicly confirm it because he had the data he was friends with and got calls from people who were in the situation and knew what happened before it even made public. He was heading down to go to the Christmas tree races. Cletus McFarland puts on what's literally pro drag cars that are that are super fast drag cars going at one of the fastest places on earth with a Christmas tree on top of it in some way, shape, or form. It's a great event. And Greg Biffle was trying to fly down to go to this. The tragedy that has fallen, not just NASCAR community, but the Cletus community, it's huge. There's going to be a hole in both NASCAR and the Cletus community, which are both communities that I'm a part of. The man was not known for what Greg Biffle was known for is not what Greg Biffle did. Because Greg Biffle, him flying his helicopter, he also did giveaways, but not just giveaways like they do. He did, like, he rolled up his sleeves and got to work to do the work that nobody else wanted to do. Greg Biffle died too young and too soon. His two children, 14 and 5, and his wife, along with 3 other people, died way before they should. And it is a tragedy, and it is gut-wrenching, and it is rough. We've seen other sports athletes die, and some of them are more tragic than others, but for some reason this one hits a little hard. Maybe it was the fact that if you watch the Cletus channel, you got to see him once a week, and he was talking, and he was just a guy. Statements have gone out. You can check out all the statements from NASCAR, from RFK, Tony Stewart, all of them. Our statement is it's a tragedy. Hopefully they knew who Jesus was and is, and hopefully they had surrendered their life. So stick with the Biff. He was such a good racer. Multiple times winning more races in a season than anybody else in that season. And yet never getting a championship. So, okay. Rich, do you have any thoughts on it?
I really don't. I think I wasn't, like I said before, I really wasn't a fan of NASCAR.
Yeah.
When Greg Biffle was driving, I knew the name.
Yeah.
I knew the name. It's still sad news. I think it was still a surprise. I think when somebody asked if I knew who he was, or and hearing Amy talk about it, but that's I just don't have the connection to him that you do. Being a being a NASCAR fan longer, and also having that following Cletus McFarland's channel and his um, events a lot closer than I am. So.
Yep. Okay. With that, Rich, shout outs. I'm going to give, once again, I forgot to do it last week, so I'll give it a second one this week. David Hovinga, happy birthday. Had his birthday on Wednesday. Happy anniversary to you and Amy. 15 years, right?
Yeah, 15.
Are we old enough for you guys to be married 15 years? That hurts my brain a little bit. But super excited to see, to watch you guys. You guys have been an inspiration to my wife and I in many ways. And we love you guys so much. We feel terrible that we couldn't make it last weekend to be in person. But we all understand safety is the most important thing. So that's why we stayed home. And by the way, rightfully so. We haven't talked about it. Talk about tragedies. How about 50-car pileup on I-80 on Saturday last week?
No, that was crazy. You could have been involved in that. You could have been slowed down because of that.
If nothing more, they were still, each direction was still down one lane through West Liberty. Through Iowa City, essentially until like 8 o'clock at night on Sunday.
Yeah, that would have been a mess to try and drive through and navigate, especially with 2 young kids in the back seat.
Yeah, so I'm glad that we made the right decision. I'm still very bummed. We're hoping next weekend to be down there and see you guys. We got to work out some logistics. But we will let you know. With that, Rich, do you have any shout-outs that you want to give?
I don't. I don't, since that you already gave the anniversary shout-out, which I appreciate, though.
By the way, so we're not going to talk to you guys before it. We will put it out. We'll say it now. Rich, do you want to do a Christmas message? We're at 52 minutes. Do you want to give a quick Christmas message about the reason for the season and all of that real quick, and just a happy Christmas to everybody out there? So I'll let you take the field.
Oh, let me take it this year. Wow. All right. Just a Merry Christmas to everybody. Amongst all your celebrations and holiday gatherings, just don't forget to just remember the reason for the season, which was the birth of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ in a manger. So he came and was born for the forgiveness of your sins. So we hope that you make sure to get out and get to a church service, have that to just to hear the message of the season. So make time for that, and even if that's the only time you go to church, we hope that you just that the message that's preached that afternoon or evening just resonate with you and just bring you closer. We're giving you that opportunity to make that choice, maybe for the very first time, to put your hope and trust in Him.
And I will add, that doesn't negate that it's also a great time to spend with your friends and family and love on one another. The secular world says that it's a time for family, and that's not inaccurate. Just because the reason that Rich and I celebrate Christmas is because the Lord and Savior was born doesn't make spending time with your family any less important. In fact, it makes it more important. You have an influence. So, yeah. With that, Rich, people are watching us on YouTube. Want to take us on the road? Where should they do that at?
Look up Balls and Sticks wherever you find your other podcasts.
Where should they go if they want to
subscribe to?
Where should they go if they want to participate in our poll questions?
Well, you can always look us up on Facebook. Fans of Balls and Sticks is where the poll question will be. With our poll question this week going live at high noon Central Time, and you can also look up Mike and I's page on Facebook.
And if you are wanting to participate in show and jump on and leave a comment that I'm going to check right now as we're doing it. If you want to jump online and do that while we're doing all of that,
you can find us over on YouTube.
Yeah, sorry, I just went to YouTube and I'll tell you. Anyway, with that, Rich, take us out.
All right, Mike, let's go ahead and roll the outro.
Broadcasting live from somewhere in Iowa. This is Balls and Sticks, the podcast, with your hosts, Mike and Rich.